Okay, everybody, hope you're doing well. God bless you. I've got a couple of prophetic updates today that I want to be sure to share with you guys. So as you're jumping on, go ahead and just let me know where you're tuning in from. Let's see some action here to stimulate the algorithm, guys. Comment, let me know where you're tuning in from. I believe this is a season where I may be potentially stepping up my public insights again, my public voice, more beyond just the private community because of certain events that are taking place. But go ahead, comment in the comment section. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I want to give you guys an update today. That being said, comment, like I said, in the comment section. Let me know where you're coming in from. I wanted just to take this opportunity and share with you guys some things today. The first thing that I want to share with you guys, as you're commenting, as you're letting me know where you're tuning in from, is this, guys. Okay, you remember the indicators that I've been sharing? Well, ironically, I didn't even know this. All right, actually, no, that was sorry. That was not actually accurate. It printed the indicator. I was on the 15-minute chart. Sorry, now I'm on the day chart. But silver is back down again, guys, in the $55 range. Remember where the Lord showed me prophetically back in January that silver would approach the $60 range. There was another prophetic voice that shared that he saw $55 exactly. And so so we have pretty much some confidence that prophetically this is the bottom. Now, obviously, nothing is guaranteed. Everything is to be interpreted through the lens of the disclaimer, guys. But listen, none of you guys are commenting in the comment section, letting me know where you're tuning in from. So please do that. Also, if you're on Facebook, all right, if you're on Facebook, I want you to be sure to know that we cannot see your comments unless you connect your Facebook. You do that by simply going to StreamYard.com/Facebook on the browser that you're already logged into Facebook on. So it helps naturally if you log into Facebook on the browser that you're going to be using to go to this link. But that being said, guys, once you've connected it one time, it should be good to go, and you should be golden from there. So welcome, guys. Just come on in. California, blessings to Prophetess Wendy. Blessings, Stephen from Kentucky. Blessings, Kevin from Chattanooga. Wonderful. Probably not Chattanooga. That being said, guys, come on and let me know where you're tuning in from. But as you do, remember, I'm pulling up the screen here and I'm sharing with you that we believe that this is the bottom range on silver, guys. So what does that mean? The quickest and fastest way for me to capitalize on this move is to go to the link in the description section below this video. If you're on Facebook, it'll be above. And it is a link where you can create an account just as fast as that, get approved, authenticated, verified, and then you can literally connect your bank account, transfer some money, if you so choose, and buy 2 different forms of digital silver. The SLV is the 1x leverage, which is 1-to-1 price. So there's basically 0 leverage. And then the AGQ is and I've got all this on the link there, explained in simplified form. And so if you wanted to buy the 2x leverage, which what I just did you hear what I just said? I just bought more at this price of the 2x leverage, because I believe we are at another bottom where potentially it is going to go up from here. And on the 2x leverage, what that means is for every dollar silver climbs from this point, you would theoretically earn 2. Now, the digital silver varies in price to the spot price of silver, even on the 1-to-1. It's, because it's not based on the price of actual silver, it's based on the price of the supply and demand of digital silver, but it follows the ebbs and the flows of the spot price of silver, just with the minor variation in price. Okay, that being said, people who trade digital silver, and of course you can buy the physical silver, sure, that link's in the description section as well, but the digital silver is a way for you to get in on this price fast, to where and then you can also get out of it fast. That's the benefit of digital silver. Now, I'm going to share with you a couple of other things. Number one, you actually have, give me 1 second here. So you actually have the prophetic coin that the Lord shared with me a couple weeks ago that has gone up 100%. It's gone up over 100%, but right now it's at 100% above the price that it was at when the Lord shared it with me just a couple of weeks ago. So that is information that I shared inside my private community. And of course, those people who are inside my private community will, be able to see that information, because I don't share price points on prophetic investments until they are fulfilled. And so, because the silver is where I saw it back in January, where the Lord told me it was going to come down to the $60 range. Well, we're here. And I have a brother in Christ that I just shared with you a little while ago. He saw it at exactly $55. I think there's 2 brothers in Christ that have seen it that I'm aware of at $55. So because it just hit 55 again this morning, or a short while ago, let me just double check this, because I want to be confident in what I am telling you. Yeah, 56. It hit 56. All right. And I can show that to you here on the screen, just so you know. This is the actual spot price of silver. It's at 57 now, but it bottomed out right about there at 56. So naturally, when I told this to you back here, when it did just the same on the 13th of July, no, I think it was more back here. Where was it? It was back here. No, I'm on the 15-minute chart, guys. It has to go back further. It was around these parts. Okay. So naturally, when I told you guys about this back here, you can take that rise up, and that was about a 13% gain. Now, if you were on the leveraged digital silver, which, like I said, the link's in the description section below, guys, then that would have been theoretically a 26% gain in what? Just about 3 weeks. Little less than 3 weeks. 26% gain. Now, theoretically, nobody ever buys the bottom and sells the top. However, that would have been the bottom. And that's kind of what we're talking about right now, is that we now know, because it printed, right? Because it manifested, because we're in the future now and no longer in the past. We now know that it was the bottom. So I had mentioned that it was potentially the bottom. And here we are hitting it again. So keep that in mind, guys. Just letting you guys know. And let me share one more thing here. All right. By the way, keep commenting, guys, in the comment section. Let me know where you're tuning in from. We got to juice up this algorithm here, guys. We've got Wendy from California, Stephen from Kentucky, Kevin from Chattanooga. Come on in, guys. Let me know where you're tuning in from. But that being said, I did a video yesterday, and I was talking about the prophetic dream that I had last year on the mass beef recall. And, you know, I had shared with you guys that the Lord showed me that there was going to be a coming mass beef recall. All right. And when I had shared that, I think, I don't know, a month later, maybe, Brandon Biggs had shared a prophetic word that he saw that there would be coming a problem with the beef. Then you had Apostle John Michael McKinney prophesying that there would be a problem with red meat, and that if the Lord begins to lead you away from eating red meat, to pay attention to that. He also saw that it would be a parasite. He saw that it would be a parasite. Now, this explosive diarrhea situation that's going on right now with this parasite that is, you know, happening. It's the cyclosporiasis parasite. I just saw an article today where the state of South Carolina Department of Health sent out a publication just 2 days ago warning the residents of South Carolina about this thing that is spreading. So it's clearly catching wind here, and it's continuing to rise. The problem is they have not been able to determine where this parasite is being sourced. They don't know where it's coming from just yet. There was an article, I think yesterday, where they suspected that, or at least they were investigating Taco Bell as a potential culprit. Now, I looked it up, and historically, please understand me, historically, this parasite has only been found in vegetables, okay? And berries specifically. In fact, let me see. I just sent this to someone earlier, and I'll just read it to you. Basically, in the United States, please leave this live up. I don't delete my lives. You're welcome. So in the United States, this is what I got from an article. In the United States, outbreaks are overwhelmingly linked to contaminated fresh, raw produce like lettuce, cilantro, basil, snow peas, and raspberries. Okay. Now, remember last week, you had Prophet Robert Hunt that he shared a prophetic word about. He shared a prophetic word about. In fact, let me just go there. He mentioned berries specifically. Now, I will tell you this. Let me see here. Pull up the transcript. This is where he shares. You got it. No, you save it, Jessica. I'm not. You save it, okay? Save it, please. I'm not. That's your job, not mine. All right. I mean, just I'm not sure why you want me to save it for you. Just send the link to yourself. Like that's how you save it, you know? Anyhow, so that being said, guys, if you go to his video from July 9th, he specifically says this.
Any meats from Walmart or
really, bro?
and I definitely wouldn't eat any grapes, strawberries, raspberries. Nothing. No, we have to start taking care of ourselves now and war against this now, and be very careful about your foods from Walmart. I wouldn't eat any meats from Walmart.
I wouldn't eat any meats from Walmart. Now, I shared this yesterday, guys. I went over the history of my live broadcasts, and last year I mentioned avoiding meats from Walmart at least 3 times. And it was, it was just, for me, it was just so simple to understand based upon what the Lord had showed me. And I know that there's corruption at play, and that many people behind the scenes are actually deploying these particular things to affect the society's health on purpose, like COVID and, and things like that. And so, but he goes on now also to say,
or Sam's Club, and I definitely wouldn't eat any grapes, strawberries, raspberries.
All right, grapes, strawberries, raspberries. And so remember, in the United States, outbreaks are overwhelmingly linked to contaminated fresh raw produce like lettuce, cilantro, basil, snow peas, and raspberries. All right. So, but here's the deal, and I'm just throwing this out there. They have not been able to source they haven't been able to discover where the source is of this parasite that's causing this explosive diarrhea. And so because of that, I looked up using AI, and I was like, is it possible for this what is the name of it? Cyclosporiasis. Is it possible that it would be in our meat? And that's where I got the text from, where it says that historically it's been in these things: berries, snow peas, fresh herbs like cilantro and basil, leafy greens like lettuce and bagged salads. It says it's highly unlikely that it would be spread through meat. And so, but I mentioned this on my live yesterday. I wouldn't put it past, Big Brother from being able to manipulate it to a way where it could be spread through probably a less likely source. Now, I trust the prophet Robert Hunt concerning avoiding various, raw berries, vegetables, different things like that. But specifically avoiding meats from Walmart, which is something that I've been sharing for over a year now. And so one of the things that I do want to share with you guys is that I talked with you guys yesterday about this Parasite regimen, this detox regimen. You can also connect with me. It's actually an automated sequence that I have set up, where if you want info on my beef, all you got to do is where I get my beef from. It's not from the mass producers that are producing it for Walmart and, your local grocery store chain. That's very important to know, because grocery store chains are going to be the ones that I believe are going to be targeted by the mass production and distribution of this contaminated food. I don't know if you guys remember, Brandon Biggs had prophesied years ago that the grocery stores would be depleted of their foods at some point. A mass beef recall is probably going to be the start of some of the things. This explosive diarrhea parasite is probably going to be the start of some of these things, guys. There's been prophetic words from him specifically about beef being hard to come by. A prophet in our church had a dream that he had a very wealthy friend, and he knew he was wealthy because he was buying $3,000 hamburgers. And so obviously that was a prophetic sign that beef is going to be very expensive in the coming days, which ironically is what Brendan Biggs prophesied years ago, that beef is going to become very, very expensive. And so my recommendation to you all is to try to source your foods in the coming days. Prophet Hunt mentioned avoiding foods from Walmart and McDonald's for the next year and a half. Actually, he said, don't you dare eat at McDonald's, period. However, he says we need to avoid foods from these types of places for the next year and a half. So you want to try to source your beef from a place that is more private, local farms, or the place that I get my beef from that I've been sharing for quite a while now. But obviously, it's high time to begin sharing it again. So just simply text the keyword, guys. I had somebody yesterday, they were like, they texted detox and beef, with a smiley face. And it's like, it has to be the keyword to trigger the sequence. So if you want info on both, text the word beef. If you want info on detox, text the word detox, but do them separately. So the detox, by the way, is the detox regimen that I started last year, guys, that I was on for, it was a 6-month regimen. I only did 4 months. And afterwards, crazily enough, my blood sugar was normal for the first time in over 8 years of annual physicals, guys. I had no idea. I did have an idea, and I've heard about these things. I've heard about eliminating your body of parasites and toxins, and I've taken detoxes before from a lot of these nutraceutical companies, but I've never taken them on the level and on the depth and on the sophistication of what this deep detox and anti-parasitic cleanse actually is. In fact, I shared with you yesterday when I did this live stream about this, that I put this detox regimen into AI. And I said, I want you to investigate all the various levels that this detox, because every month that you take it, in fact, the beginning stages is actually to prepare your body. Because if you don't prepare your body and get your lymphatic system, going and all, it's like you opening up all your drainage pathways. If you don't do that, then it will send all the toxins to your liver and kidneys, and it can actually harm your body. So the first month or two is getting your body prepped for the heavy detox. And so, and I never even completed it. So I'm now back on it because I want to complete it now, but I asked the practitioner that I get it from. And by the way, there's no office charge for office visit. It's all over the phone. They can schedule a deeper, dive into your health, or they can give you the general regimen. I elected the general regimen, and that's what that's what this is. And so, and the way she makes money is by being a reseller of the supplements, and you can get them at the same price from her as you would anywhere else. But then she gets a skim because she gets it, from the company. Does that make sense? So it's just a really great deal because you're not paying any more, and it's just a really incredible opportunity. Okay, you've got Stacy says, I'd like that doctor's info, and that's why I keep sharing this. You just got to simply text the keyword detox to the number 941-239-0997. Take a screenshot of this so you don't lose it. If you want info on the beef, text the keyword beef. Guys, you just have to text the keyword beef or detox. That's it. Don't send me a message and be like, hey, John, it's me, beef, because that's not going to trigger the sequence. It's an automated sequence that I set up to then send you an auto response to go take you through the process. It's very simple. And so you've got to use the keyword. Okay. Everybody do that. All right. So that being said, like I mentioned, guys, today I believe is an incredible day to buy silver. All right. I'm not going to tell you that, this green candle that we're now seeing here. Okay. See how it's doing this? I'm not going to tell you that it's going to continue to skyrocket from here. However, if you, draw the line at the bottom, okay, where it bottomed out here back on June 24th and then June 25th, this might be the place where it is retesting. Actually, you can actually see that it is. See it right here, right here, right here. This is another resistance and support. So, that's could be what's happening. But either way, guys, it's close enough to me. 56 versus 55, which is the ultimate bottom, theoretically or prophetically, as you would call it, is another bottom. So what did I do, guys? Today I bought the digital silver 2x leverage that I shared with you guys in the link in the description section below, guys. And so I totally understand, and you're right. It makes sense. There's there's a lot of people that talk about this stuff, guys. That a lot of the breads that we eat today are not actually natural, and a lot of the flours that are being used to make the breads are bioengineered and different things like that. I follow a guy that has a channel that talks about this as well, and how to look for even ingredients when you're shopping for bread, because you can still buy good stuff. But nonetheless, I just want to encourage people to take some of this stuff seriously, guys. By the way, also want to share this with you guys that I also discovered today. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I did hear a doctor share this. There is a treatment. And by the way, the detox and parasite, the detox and parasite regimen that I mentioned, I talked to the health practitioner that has got me on this stuff to detox and anti-parasite. And she says that they do specifically muscle testing for the cyclosporiasis parasite that's going around right now. And yes, not only does this eliminate them from the body, but it also prevents them as well. And so one of the things that I'm doing is I'm going through this detox, like I said, for the full 6 months. And then I'm going to get on the maintenance program that keeps you free from these types of things affecting your body. If my blood sugar was elevated, guys, for 8 years, I want you to hear me. If my blood sugar was elevated for 8 years and it was because of a toxin or a overabundance of toxins somehow in my body, even though I've done detox regimens before, but nothing this sophisticated. And like I said, this one breaks the blood-brain barrier. It deals with all sorts of different detoxification systems in the body, the endocrine system, all the various parts of your biology in your body. And that's the beauty of it, is it targets all the major areas. And so my point is if I had something in my body that caused my blood sugar to be elevated for 8 years, and then running through this regimen caused it to, coincidentally disappear. You have to imagine there are things that we have not known. Other countries are huge on anti-parasitic treatment. They investigate, they test. I've heard holistic doctors talking about this, where they say that in other countries, it's huge in their medicine to know how to look for parasites. In our country, they do not do parasitic, testing by and large, not anywhere near like they do in other countries, unless you have, visible things coming in your, stool samples or whatever. But it goes way beyond that. And that's what we're learning. That's why I decided to go on this regimen. And I was shocked to find out that my blood sugar, that I've always been trying to get stabilized for 8 years because it was above normal but below diabetic, 8 years. And I took this regimen and boom, it's not even there anymore. I'm just like, wow, we really need to know this stuff. We really need to be informed. And so, some people believe that a lot of this stuff that we deal with in our health is related to parasites that are not being dealt with or toxins that are not being dealt with. And so this regimen deals with all of that. So please, for those who are interested, simply text the word detox to the phone number. Same with the beef. My source of beef, guys, I've shared with you guys before. People have tried it and they're like, this is like I 100% believe it is the best steak I've ever had in my life, guys. There's zero comparison. And I've had the mail order Omaha steaks. Some people are like, yeah, those stink. Well, I would agree. They're not what many people believe they are. I've had the best Wagyu restaurant an hour away from me that is people rave about. And there's nothing that compares to this stuff. However, I also want to share with you guys, this is a regimen that somebody said works for this specific parasite as well. This was a doctor that I watched the video of that somebody had sent me yesterday. And there are holistic doctors online that you can, look this up. And this was the regimen he mentioned. But obviously, you're going to consult whatever practitioner you find online. And if you wanted to go ahead and get this stuff on hand, there is a regimen that I think I can find for you. Let me see here. Well, either way, just search for it online. But either way, I'm, taking this full detox parasitic cleanse and going that route. Get your digital silver today if you want to go ahead and get in on that. The link's in the description section below, guys. Appreciate you being on. I will talk to you later. Take care. God bless. By the way, let me remind you, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I've already told you guys this is theoretic and prophetic. Everything through the lens of the disclaimer. And it was just a dream. God bless.